Hey there, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Axel G, and this is your channel to understand what is building information modeling. In the previous video, I explained what are going to be the goals of this channel, what we're going to explain here, and what you are going to receive and to expect. So, let's dive in right now and let's start understanding what is building information modeling. So let's go to the big question, what is BIM? Let's start understanding what is not BIM, because people is always confusing the terminology, what is BIM, what they understand of BIM, and sometimes by saying what is not BIM is better to understand. So BIM is not a software, BIM is not Revit, BIM is not Civil 3D. BIM is not a simple 3D model that the geek of the company already did, and BIM is not also the BIM cloud where you upload the files and you keep them right there. And also, BIM is not just the clash detection that the company requires sometimes.
According to Autodesk, building information modeling is the holistic process of creating and managing information for a built asset. Based on an intelligent model and enabled by a cloud platform, BIM integrates structured multidisciplinary data to produce a digital representation of an asset across its life cycle from planning and design to construction and operations.
Now, I would like to say my definition and how I understand BIM. BIM is a process, BIM is a methodology that affects all the stages of the project throughout its life cycle. Think about BIM as a 3D, highly detailed model where it's not there just the geometry of the building, but also the information of the building. In each element of the building, you are going to insert information. Also, the building is an intelligent and smart building. So BIM, I love to say that in the planning stage is the digital representation of the building. Also, in the construction stage is the digital representation of the processes of constructing the building. Yeah, the software is also part of BIM, such as Revit, Civil, InfraWorks, as we said before. This is also part of BIM, but it's not BIM. It's the platform where you develop the BIM models. But if you don't insert the right information at the right time and give it to the right people, and you don't connect all the stakeholders in the project, so you are not doing BIM. So it is important to understand that BIM affects the whole life cycle of the project. BIM helps all the stages of the project, improves the planning, improves the construction stage, and improves the operation stage. So let's talk about the use of BIM. You might be wondering, why do I need to get into the BIM world right now? You know that in a lot of countries, such as Finland, Norway, Singapore, we are talking about already open BIM that is mandatory and that you need to give an IFC model in most of the projects. We are talking about countries such as UK, US, Australia, and a lot much more that BIM is already mandatory on public projects. This doesn't mean that BIM is not applying in the rest of the world. Most of the countries are already using BIM, mostly in private projects, but the industry is expecting that in further years BIM will be mandatory in most countries of the world. As we said before, BIM is not just a nice pretty model that you made on the planning stage with some different stakeholders, the architect, the structural engineer, the MEP team. BIM is a methodology that affects all the stages of the project. We're going to be explaining how BIM affects each of the different stages of the project, from programming, conceptual design, where you create the idea of the project. You can create different alternatives, and BIM has the capabilities to help you create them in a much faster way, giving already the forecast of money, how much time. Then you go to detail design. You upload the level of development, level of geometry, level of information of each element that are terminology that we're going to explain further in this channel. Also, BIM helps you to analyze the model. Think about all the stages before constructing the project. You can develop different analysis, such as 3D clashing analysis, energy analysis, structural analysis, all of these analysis that if you don't do it in the planning stage and doing it in the traditional ways, it will take a lot of time. Then in the construction stage, you will need to pay this. The documentation, fabrication, processes as 4D, 5D, construction logistics, operation maintenance, all these processes, BIM can help to develop them in a pretty easy way. So, in order to understand better what we are talking about, let's see the next chart. Building information modeling. In the building stage, as we said before, we virtually create the project and the model of the project. What it means is that we create the geometry of the project. That is very important, and you can use analysis such as clash detection to see that all the project works perfectly. But BIM goes beyond that. BIM also takes the information in consideration, and this could be even the most important asset of building information modeling. So check out this. You have a column right here. You created geometry, and this is the building modeling of the project. But also this column has all this information that you can see here in the chart. What are the dimensions? Who's the manufacturer of the concrete? How much it costs this column? How much is the cost of concrete per cubic meter? What type of concrete you need to apply in this column? All this information is going to be stored in what I like to say or call the BIM database. After that, you can share this information with the specific people that need to receive this information, such as the contractor, subcontractors, project manager, and all is stored in a same place. A single source of truth. In short, as we explained before, BIM is not just a tool, it's a process that helps us build smarter and more efficiently. That's why in this channel we're going to dive deep into building information modeling, how to use it, how to start. And in the next videos we're going to be explaining about the 7 dimensions of building information modeling and key terminology, so that you can go faster into more detailed aspects of building information modeling. Thank you very much for being here. Please, if you like this material, subscribe to my channel and give a like. You help me a lot with this. And please wait the next videos that are going to be great information for you.